Okay, well, let's get on with the show. Episode number 46. We're here just about. It's been a crazy morning and evening yesterday because we had technical difficulties. I actually had to get my wife to fix it. But yeah, welcome, Jimmy, as always. My beautiful, stunning co-host sat there looking at
How's
me,
it going?
nipples staring at me through the screen.
Well, see, we've got a bit of a situation today. So I kind of had a bit too much drink last night, and
Like most of the UK.
yeah, I'm a little bit hungover. So this is going to be a chilled episode, I think.
I've seen a lot.
Relaxing.
Obviously, this is the morning after England have beaten Sweden in the World Cup. We're going through to the semi-finals, which is an amazing feat.
What the hell? What is going on?
I don't know. We've had an easy go of it. I think,
We have.
some teams have like faced like juggernaut style sized fucking football teams, and we haven't really had a test yet. Colombia was our biggest test, but that's because it was such an unorthodox match, and my wife has had so much shit because of that. Because obviously,
Wasn't it? Didn't I didn't watch that one. Was it like just them like basically bringing fucking weapons onto the pitch? Apparently it was like really, really rough.
It was really rough. It was a lot of diving, a lot of crowding around the ref to try and keep people carded, and it was a strange match to see because like I've followed since I've been with my wife. I've watched Colombia games, and I really do love the Colombian team. Like, it's not because I just love the way they play. They're a great team normally, and they don't usually take to playing that kind of way, and so it was quite disappointing to see. But I've got to tell you, we had people around our house. We had a really nice vibe. You were supposed to come, weren't you? But you were busy.
Yeah.
But we had like loads of beer flowing. We had flags around the house. It was really nice. But there was a group of us around, and there's just my wife that's Colombian, and so the pressure was on. And when we scored that first goal, we kind of cheered, and I felt bad for Kaz and stuff like that. But then Colombia scored, and oh my god, she screamed so fucking loud. They must have heard her at the Masonic. We got a pub like 75 meters away, literally just down the road, and I guarantee they must have heard her screaming. Like, it was so awkward. And then it went to penalties, and obviously they lost. Colombia, we won. England, and I went to give my wife a cuddle like straight after, say, "Oh, don't worry about it," and she pushed me away and went, "Fuck off."
What?
I know. Everybody was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" But she was just a bit upset. I mean, can you imagine being an English guy in a different country watching a match with the people from that country all around you, and then you lose? It would feel like hell on earth. It would be pretty horrible. So yeah, that was quite an experience. An experience I didn't. Oh, do you know what? I didn't know what it was going to be like. I knew it was going to come one day where England played Colombia and me and Kaz going to be in the same room.
Yeah. In a World Cup scenario, not just a friendly. Yeah, they did this festival by us in a place called Iron Bridge.
Every fucker in the world should know where Iron Bridge
Everyone
is.
know where Iron Bridge is, yeah. Birthplace of if you've got a piece of metal in your hand, or if you ever seen a piece of metal, you're welcome. Yeah, we don't generally have anything around here, do we? Sort of like Telford area, like events and things like that. And this guy put on a festival, about 5,000 people. Really good turnout. Finished work at about 1 o'clock and then went down afterwards. And my girlfriend was like already, it phoned me up before I got in the taxi saying, yeah, we're going into this really long queue. Do you want me to get you a drink? I got there like 3/4 of an hour later, and they were still halfway into this queue. Nearly 2 and a bit hours we were queuing for a drink.
Oh my god!
And
So Weatherspoons.
yeah, like, it's really hot here as well in England at the moment. So
Yeah,
Oh
I've had
man.
some shit about that as well. I said to Garrett, like, I'm going for my second shower and I'll be with you to do the show because it's been a really hot day and I got sweaty bollocks. And he was like, how hot is it? I was like, it's been about 30 degrees today. And he's like, that's pathetic. It's literally 40 degrees in Arizona. I was like, well, fuck, man, it's the UK. Like,
Yeah.
anything over 25 degrees and we're dying. Like, it's been great. Yesterday was a weird one for me because I spent all day kind of out in the sun. In the morning. Oh, sorry, you were talking about this festival. Go on, carry on, finish about your festival, and I'll talk about my day.
Oh yeah, yeah. We yeah, got there and once we'd actually reached the end of the queue, like everyone at the end, like everyone at the start of the queue is all happy, and it's like seeing like the different tiers of depression kick in as you walk past this queue. Like the further you get along, it's just and at the end, like everyone's like really pissed off and everything.
Sorry, but my light's
So
super sad.
ended up getting like loads and loads of beers in, um, and basically we watched the entire match that was on this massive screen, stood in a queue.
That's crazy.
Like the entire fucking match, it was absolutely ridiculous. But that when we scored each and every time there was beer going everywhere. There was flares going off and every like, smoke and everything. It was literally it was like being at a match. It was absolutely
I think it's
crazy.
ironic that people queue up 2 hours for a drink and then they end up throwing it in the air when they score. Back into the queue again. Oh, it sounds like
So when we sat down afterwards as well, someone sat down, had two drinks in front of them. Fag Ash went in one, so like literally just sat there with a cigarette, and the ash went in one. Went to move to see if we could get like the ash out of the cup, and knocked this second one over with his foot. 2 hours queuing, and literally wasted his drinks in seconds.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah, yeah.
God, it sounds like an amazing atmosphere despite that, though. I mean, there's nothing better than being
It was
around
good.
people whilst there's good times happening.
And the thing is, like that's the thing with like in Britain is that it's a country full of dickheads, but in a good atmosphere, like everyone's dickheads together.
Yeah.
So it was good to have the World Cup there as well, and it was a good atmosphere. And I'm not usually like a football person, you know that. I
We
just
talked
take
about it
it,
before on
leave
the
it.
show. Well, I missed it all yesterday. I felt really bad. But at the same time, okay, so yesterday my day was so busy. I was actually ended up sunstroked and my face was very purpley, browny, red. We went to it was called the Dragon Boat races at the rowing club in Shrewsbury, and it's like a team building exercise for loads of companies. They go there, they take a team, and then they have races up and down the river in these dragon boats. It was really nice. We got to meet some of my wife's colleagues, but it was like where the bank is. By the rowing club, it was a right sun trap, and like we said, it was like 30 degrees from about 11 o'clock in the morning. It was about 30 degrees. It was terrible. It was amazing, but terrible. So we stayed there for a bit. Then my little boy went to the splash park, and it was really nice. And then I had to go and work at the prison. I had to do they do private events there, hen do's and stag do's and stuff. So what they do is they do like a cell escape. They have a tour of the prison. And you can go to the bar, and then they do like a zombie run. They go from Miro. So I had to zombie up. You saw the pictures on Instagram yesterday. And then straight afterwards, I did a promo video for Porridge, which is the event that we'll be taking part of. My only shout out today is going to be to Lauren Watkins, who works at HMP prison. She's a manager there, and she's kindly let us do a podcast in a prison cell overnight. So like when I first heard that we were going to be able to do this, I thought, oh yeah, we could turn up with Thors-Kin and we could sit and talk about gaming and TV and stuff in the prison, and it wouldn't quite suit. So then I thought the Weekly Bazaar is a perfect setting for that kind of scene. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take all my equipment, hopefully get it to work and not fuck it up. I'll take all my equipment, we're going to set up, and we'll do an episode of Weekly Bazaar. I've got someone looking for me a microphone for me, so because my mom is coming with me.
You're doing a podcast with your mother?
With my mom.
Wow.
I know.
Tune in, guys.
But my mom, she's really laid back. She
Yeah.
doesn't care. She's listened to a few of my shows and nothing's shocked her yet. So it'd be great to have her on. And she's really into the occult and things like that. So we can do a few ghost walks. And that prison in pitch black during the night is pretty fucking freaky. Like
Yeah.
I've sat there in one of the most haunted parts of the prison during the sanctum during the Halloween bit in pitch black. Sat there vaping on the stairs where people used to walk up towards death row, and I felt completely comfortable. I've had no problems, but recording my mom, I'm probably making her scared as well. I'm gonna scare the shit out of her. That will put
Yeah, you've got to do that. Yeah, literally just rig the entire thing. So like every 20 minutes, so she gets bored with it. You scaring her that much. She's like, "Fuck, not again."
Well, the promo video that we did yesterday for the thing was really fun. It was really you'll see it, and I'll put it on the Thors-Kin channel because it's gonna be really funny. It was really camp, really like cheesy kind of. Hey, dude, have you seen what's going on at the prison? You could stay there overnight. We could do what we like. We can order pizzas. We can go ghost tours, and we all turn up, do like a jumping high five, and you got people running around with sheets over their heads pretending to be ghosts and things like that. It's really funny.
Yeah.
So this is what you can do with that. So I want to say thank you to Lauren. I'm going to plug this hard because I think they deserve a bit of recognition. They've helped me. I'll help them. So yeah, check out HMP Prison or immersive events and look for Shrewsbury, the Dana Prison, and you can look at what they got there. They got so much going on. So thanks to them. And then after the prison, I came back and did a show with Garrett and cried a lot because my mixer broke. And what I'd done, I'd fucked it up. I was messing around the other day, and I'd plugged in my old Snowball into my laptop with all the other shit that comes in from the mixer and overloaded everything, confused the computers. So it completely forgot what my mic was, forgot what the mixer was. So I had to mess around with I had to get my wife to fix it, actually, which is quite embarrassing. But she's amazing at that. So thank you, wifey. But yeah, this whole England World Cup thing, is it getting a bit out of hand, do you reckon, or do you think it's good?
I think it's good. Like, the thing is, this doesn't happen for England ever.
No.
Like, we either get knocked out or we get through to the knockout rounds and lose on the first one. That's just it. Yeah. So to get through not just to the quarters, but now through to the semi-finals, I kind of think, let people just enjoy it. If you've seen any of like the videos of people celebrating and everything, I saw one literally just before the podcast where it was like England fans forget that it's Russian police.
Oh, I saw that, and go on, tell people about it.
And these couple of guys jump on top of like a riot van and start stamping on the roof, and then jump off, and the camera pan.
Yeah, that video I saw. What Jimmy was saying was a guy jumped on top of a police car, started jumping around, and got absolutely fucking thrashed with batons by Russian police.
Yeah, literally both of them just rushed him and just beat the fucking shit out of him. The video as well, a car came over the screen, like quite conveniently, of nothing happening here, people.
Well, I've read about this, and that was actually a Russian guy. That was a Russian guy that got beaten up by Russian police, and I think it's because he was Russian they did it, as if to say you should know better. This was after the Russia-Spain game, and there's a lot of this going about at the moment, this kind of propaganda that's going around and trying to shame English people. And it's not just that. There's a lot of it going around with kind of Muslims and things like that. There was a video of people. There was a large group of people almost rioting in the streets, smashing up cars as they're driving. And they were basically saying that it was Ramadan, and it was Muslims in the UK smashing cars up because they needed to respect Ramadan and not be driving because it's a peaceful, quiet time. Yeah. And it actually turned out that they were football fans from across Europe that were doing it. So there's a lot of these weird Facebook propaganda-y type videos that you can't
That's such a big problem, though, that like just nowadays in general, like with the internet, is like you can't control a message properly.
No.
It's really fucking. I think it's really fucking scary of how like that video then, like, I know, like, that's a little example of like it being an England fan, and actually it was a Russian person, but I wouldn't have questioned that twice. Oh, a
No.
video says England fans something something. Oh, it's an English guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you fucking deserve it, you prick. You should represent us better, and you move on. But when things are like that, it's actually a bit of a deeper meaning to it. Like you said, when it's like cultures and stereotypes and something that can actually sort of breed hatred as well.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing to have some things like Twitter and um, uh, I guess it's like the power of a meme, isn't it? Really, I think if that's part of what they wanted to do, I don't know whether you've seen like recently, you're can only do it sort of through European law in the EU, but banning memes. So they basically they can figure out what's being uploaded through your ISP. Um, yeah,
They
that's
couldn't
right.
ban
Yeah. Oh,
memes.
yes, pity. Yeah, yeah. You know, you just basically it would just. I'm trying to get my words out here. This is like, do not do a hangover podcast. A
Hungover podcast.
podcast hungover uh, is you can link into like the data in the background, like copyright stuff, and that's the way that they want to go about doing it. Is it's a copyright law that's sort of policed and put into place through your internet provider,
Yeah.
so that as you're uploading things, um, it flags up as copyright. So you can't use it, which basically means that all your GIFs and your things like that will just be removed. So it's like a way of controlling memes. Why? I don't know. But then when you bring up stuff like that, it kind of makes you realize actually the power of like this world's got some fucking stupid people who
Yeah.
can't
I
really
mean,
figure things out themselves. And like if you just keep pushing a bullshit message on people that isn't actually true like that, you people don't think for themselves.
they don't, and I've got a prime example. I'll talk about a bit later on. No, we'll talk about it now, and I'll go back to what I was going to say. Remind me about football hooligans. But like, I was talking to Garrett last night on the Weekly Bazaar about you got these pride flags, and pride is a beautiful thing. You got gay pride flags now for different kind of orientations of sexuality now. So you got different coloured flags to represent the different kind of sexualities that people are. But now, like I was saying a while ago on the Weekly Bazaar, that people are getting separated so thinly that eventually something bad's going to come through, or it's going to people are going to start feeling segregated. But now you've got a flag for what's called what they're called. I want to get it right. I've got it right here. MAP, and MAP is it stands for minor attracted person. So
Minor attracted what the hell is that?
that's pedophiles. Pedophiles have designed their own pride flag because they're proud of who they are. And this is what you say. This kind of links in with like people. There are tyrants out there that don't mind shaking the boat and making people feel bad and releasing what the hell they like. And this is why you've got to kind of start censoring it.
This is more the way I see this. This is more of a problem of minorities needing attention, though, and sort of like how do I phrase this? Like, oh, what's the fucking word? All the SJW shit that you get. That's what I was trying to think of. Is everything that you see on Twitter and Facebook and everything. Everyone's got an opinion. Everyone wants to give their opinion, but no one wants to be told that they're wrong. And how now it's so easy to say what you want to who you want, and there's no comeuppance. You can just start getting people behind you, your followers and things like that.
And it's like a tumbleweed.
It is, and the thing is, I'm really not making any fucking sense this morning. I'd need
But
to
so
go home and come back like in 3 hours. Um, oh my
I think we need
good
to
lord.
take control of the situation, because it's things like this map flag, like this video that somebody anonymous can just upload that to Facebook, create this kind of propaganda, and before you know it, in seconds, it's all around the fucking internet. Everybody's talking about it, and there's that much noise being made about it that people don't realize where it's come from. If you can create a meme and put into effect that kind of copyright sort of sense that you're talking about, so you know the origin, you know exactly where that came from, then you can link it to the source. So
Yeah.
like this map flag is a disgusting example of some fucking troll out there that's gone, yeah, I don't believe there are a group of paedophiles out there that have gone, we need recognition for who we are. Like, I don't
Yeah.
believe that for 1 second. But what I do believe is somebody's gone, haha, this is going to be really funny, and uploaded
Yeah.
it onto Facebook. So
Yeah. The thing is with stuff like this, even if that is a joke, what I was trying to articulate then is actually starting to like filter through, but like 20 minutes later.
fucking
So
wake up, Jimmy.
exactly.
Shocked.
It's all like your snowflake culture, basically. Of I need recognition, I need to be understood, and I come from a group that at some point in time has been oppressed as not normal, as not accepted, and now times are changing. Let's celebrate that. Yeah, that's great. Let's celebrate that. But at the same time, it's more normal nowadays to be accepted and everything like that than to not be.
Yeah.
Like you haven't got to sell it. Like this is going to go down like a lead balloon. I do understand, but like you don't get like straight white people celebrations. So what? We're all the same people. Like I feel after a certain point, they're like it just needs to stop. My favorite quote ever. I think it was. Oh, I think it was it.
If you say Frankie Boyle, that's it. We're going to end the show.
No, I think it was Samuel L. Jackson. I think it was, and someone asked him about how do you get people to stop talking about racism, and he said, "Well, stop talking about it."
Yeah.
Do you know, like it's just the only way you can get around racism is to stop talking about it. There has to be a point where all of like the minority groups and everything like that, and instead of like celebrating like independence of this, that, and the other, just everyone's in the same boat.
Yeah.
And then you'll stop getting the segregation, because after a certain point you try to be all inclusive and all encompassing and giving everyone their own recognition. What you're doing is you're putting everyone in these little pigeonholes, and at that point that makes it easier to keep targeting individual people, and we live in a world where it's never been easier to target someone with social media and like finding them, contacting them, harassing them. So if you keep pigeonholing people, you're actually making yourself more and more vulnerable.
Exactly, because you got less people to stand behind. Well, this thing with the English football celebrations has, like, we're on a bit of a torrent then, which is great because that's what we like to do. But these English football celebrations, I believe they're getting to a point now where it's getting a bit out of hand. I saw a video of just up the road actually, Copthorne barracks up right there. There was a pub, and there's literally thousands of people on the road singing, chanting, which is great. But they weren't letting any of the cars through. People were just trying to get on and
Yeah.
go about their day, and they're just banging on people's bonnets and climbing on the cars. And it's at that point where I'm thinking, you guys need to fucking grow up a little bit. Like, it's great, it's amazing. I love the party mentality. They've got a pub just down the road, and they were having a fucking whale of a time. I could hear them, but I was happy with that. That's fine. They're in the pub. But when it spills out onto the streets, and there was also another video in London of people that have actually smashed up a fucking ambulance by jumping on the bonnet. Whitman, yeah,
You mean that?
yeah,
Literally just looking at that right now.
yeah. They're jumping on the bonnet of an ambulance, which this ambulance now has to go to the shop. It's out of commission, and they can't use that now. So it's getting to a point where people just they're losing sense of what they're doing. It's great that we're doing this. Let's party. Let's have a great time. But fucking just think about what you're doing. Like, you've put an ambulance out of commission, which is there to save people's lives.
Yeah.
Quick tactical cough. I'm dying. I'm actually dying, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, I am too. Oh, Jesus Christ, I've just seen the scariest thing just flicking through here. It's just someone's posted in Garmy. It's a toilet with Bugs Bunny on the back. So, like, you sit in Bugs Bunny's lap or piss in Bugs Bunny's lap.
the Garmin's great for stuff like that because you have the inappropriate toys section, and you get so. And there seems to be a trend of poo toys at the moment. I don't know what this is. I don't want to echo Ralph Garman, but I'm gonna. There seems to be at the moment this amazing trend for poo related board games, toys. You see them on the adverts, catch a floater, or there's a dog that poos and you got to catch it or some shit like that. What's going on? Why are we encouraging kids to play with shit? Like, if you really want to play with shit, I will give you some shit to play with if you like, and it'll be free. Like, I don't understand what's going on with all that sort of stuff. It's very wrong.
Yeah, we had the best toys, but we also had the worst toys, like the laziest ones. Kids nowadays have like things have just. This is going to be a brilliant segue into Thundercats. But we had sort of like the most awesome IPs and brands and universes and everything, but we had the shittest toys to go with it. Nowadays, like they're just like using the same shit.
Yeah, literally.
But like just doing like souped up versions of everything. But have you seen the Thundercats thing?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not happy with it. Not at all. I wasn't a huge Thundercats fan when I was a kid. I really wasn't. There was so many cartoons I would watch, like Ghostbusters and Turtles and things, things that I really should be watching. Thundercats. I remember, I think it stems from Sam, my brother, got given a Thundercats video for Easter one year, and the sound was out on it. It was broken. We never got to watch it, and I think because of that disappointment from that Easter, I kind of stayed away from Thundercats. It's weird, but I appreciate how iconic this cartoon is. It was very bad acting back in the day. I've spoken about this before with people. It's bad acting, bad voice acting. The animation wasn't brilliant, but it was also really iconic,
Mm-hmm.
And now they've remade it, and what the fuck is going on with this?
They've done proper Cartoon Network graphics on it.
What?
Like they've got loads of other shows with that kind of style as well. I think they must just have given one art designer free reign to do basically everything.
And everything
all
looks the same. You got like Chowder and fucking Adventure Time and what's it called? The Bubble. Well, I don't care. Like they all look shit. Like I thought it was bad a few years ago when you had that Timmy and his fairy step godparents or whatever. Them kind of graphics for me were ridiculous, and they're getting even worse. And they've just done this with Thundercats. Teen Titans Go is a prime example. Okay, they take a great IP like the Teen Titans and they wrap it around this shitty fucking animation. People love it. I hate it. I want like proper cartoons. I don't like this kind of big mouth, big eyes, farting, stupid humor that we've got right now. It's terrible.
Yeah, they need to bring back like a bunch of other things. But properly, a bunch of other IPs. They need to bring back Street Sharks.
Yeah.
And Biker Mice from Mars.
But weren't they just Turtles rip-offs though then too?
How dare you?
I'm pretty sure they were. Biker Mice from Mars was literally like scene for
Biker
scene.
Mice from Mars was awesome. That was such an awesome show. Street Sharks.
Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim! We need Earthworm Jim back. That was so good.
You know what? You could make like a whole new channel, bringing back those old shows, but properly without and do like old style animation to it as well, so it looks a bit old.
I think they tried that on Nickelodeon. I think they tried to bring back like the 90s. They put back was it Nicktoons 90s or something like that, and they brought back all the old cartoons. But I don't think it flew off the shelf. I don't think people were interested. Because like what adult sits and watches, I mean, I do watch cartoons, But that's because I've got a 3-year-old. But I wouldn't go out of my day to sit there and watch them. I would sit and happily watch the Batman animated series. I
Yeah,
mean, if they brought something out, resembling that now, I'd probably sit and watch it. But
yeah. See, with me and cartoons is I, I get where you're coming from, and I understand and appreciate that. Generally adults won't sit there and watch cartoons when there's more sort of like age appropriate things that you can watch. But the reason why you would watch the Batman animated series, like to me, I watched loads and loads of cartoons as a kid. I watched absolutely everything. So when you can get some apps on your Xbox that they don't work great, but it's just this guy who's like basically ripped the entire season of pretty much everything ever, and it's all the old cartoons, like Scooby Doo, Batman, all of the Marvel stuff, the old Avengers, X-Men, Ninja Turtles, all of that kind of stuff. And it's all just like a huge nostalgia kick for me. I could happily sit there and watch those episodes, like Tom and Jerry, the Flintstones. I could watch that all day long.
Animaniacs as well. Animaniacs was amazing when I was a kid.
Maniacs. Yeah, like sad things like Dragon Ball Z, I was like hugely into. I could still sit down and just watch like an entire series of Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z
And
is something that I don't watch, and I probably never will. But I totally understand the hype. It's an epic cartoon. Like it's a bit like Pokemon. The Pokemon cartoon, for its flaws, was still quite iconic as well. It's an anime cartoon that offers things on huge proportions. So I totally understand it.
I think the thing with Dragon Ball is that it's like the ultimate gateway anime. It's like what Star Wars is for sci-fi. Like anyone can get into it because it's not too much, but it's just at the same time it's a huge universe and
Yeah.
like huge stories and characters behind it. But yeah, I could watch those old
What
cartoons all
have
day.
you been
I
watching
just
anything
can't.
lately? What have you been watching?
Um, I'll keep it relevant. We've been watching oh, two or three things. So first up, keeping it relevant is the new season of Danger Mouse, the new series that they remade. Been watching that,
Really? Any
flick through
good?
that a couple of yeah. It's really good. They break the fourth wall. They've got the narrator in it, who's a famous voice actor narrator. Um, because they break the fourth wall and they don't take themselves serious, it's really easy to get into because it's like how when cartoons come back, oh, it's never going to be as good as the originals. Sometimes like things can take themselves too seriously, and you can be really cynical about it
Yeah.
and not give it a chance. But because it breaks the fourth wall and doesn't take itself seriously, it's impossible to not give it a chance watching it. So
No, that's
I've
good.
been watching that and enjoying it. Apart from that, is Plebs, which is an ITV show that's just come on Netflix. Um,
I've kind of looked at that and I thought I think I maybe might have watched half. I think it might have been with you actually. I probably watched
oh,
like half an episode when I was drunk or something.
dude,
But
it is so good. It's by far my favorite TV series that I've watched.
what better than the In
It's,
Betweeners?
it's
Yeah.
oh, it pisses all over In Betweeners.
Fuck off! You full of shit.
In Betweeners it's funny. Don't get me wrong, but it's really forced. Whereas there was a show called Friday Night Dinner or something like that, with Simon Bird from In Betweeners and a guy who is the main character in Plebs, but it's not the main character who sells it. It's not even the second character. It's their slave called Grumio, who literally like he's got a bowl cut. He wears like this dirty, horrible tunic throughout the entire every
Is he the guy that
episode.
looks
Like
like
everyone
Rowan
else is
Atkinson? He looks a bit like Rowan. He's got that kind
a
of.
little bit, yeah. He's like, oh yeah, talks like there's one amazing bit in it where he just doesn't do anything. He's supposed to do all the chores, and he just literally doesn't do anything. He's got one of those little a ball in a cup, where the ball's on a string, and you flick it up, catch it in the cup.
Yeah, yeah. Ball in the cup.
And his owner, that sounds so
No,
weird.
it's set in Roman
Phrasing
times.
like that.
Yeah, it's his owner.
Yeah, set in Roman times. don't have a hissy fit at me. Basically gets annoyed that he's not doing anything, so he goes on this rage of breaking stuff, and he gets this ball in a cup and just pulls it apart. And he goes, "There, how'd you like that?" And he goes, "Don't care, completed it." It's just like, it's those kind of comments all the way through. He just absolutely makes it.
Yeah, I like shows like that, but I can't get past like the in-betweeners. I liked Cuckoo. Did you ever watch Cuckoo?
No.
It's got Andy Samberg from Brooklyn Nine-Nine
Yeah.
and Greg Davis from In-Betweeners.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's basically his daughter goes away to Thailand or something, comes back, and she's married a fucking idiot. Like he's like a hippie that
Yeah.
lives off the energies of the universe, and he wants to be a philosopher and write books and things. He doesn't believe in working and things like that. And she brings this guy back to his house, and he's like,
Oh,
"You're not going to get a job, Cuckoo." You know the way Greg Davis talks like this. He's
God,
fucking
I
brilliant.
hate him.
I love him
God.
so much.
Can't stand him.
Where is he?
Yeah, I've just been watching that a lot lately. It's turned into like our dinner time. Sit down, stick something on TV during dinner. It's turned into my dinner time thing, and you know that it's a good show when you want to, not because you're hungry, but you want it to be dinner time because you know that you're going to watch some like a certain show.
We've been watching Glow. I watched the first season because my wife kind of fell out of love with it. So I powered through the first season, absolutely loved it. But I really just had this idea that my wife would absolutely love Glow if she gave it a chance. So before I went on to season 2, I haven't gotten to it yet. I was like, okay, we're gonna watch Glow. I'm gonna give it a chance. So we sat and watched that. We finished season 1 last night. Me for the second time. It's a great show. If you've never watched Glow, if you thought, "Oh, women wrestling, what the fuck?" It's really girly, boring. It's fucking amazing. Alison Brie, who's in it, she's in Mad Men as well. She's so brilliant at what she does because she's great to look at for starters, but she does this great thing that kind of what Ben Stiller did in Meet the Parents. She kind of makes you cringe at the TV, but she's brilliant at it. If you can do that as an actress or an actor, I think you've got great skills. There's lots of nudity in there, great story, and you got Mark Maron as well. Mark Maron's pretty fantastic in everything, like doing blow and sleeping with the cast, and he's drinking his life away. That kind of miserable kind of guy. It's fucking fantastic. So season 2, I'm looking forward to. I'll keep you up to grips with that. I got 1 episode to go for the final of season 2 of Westworld, which is a phenomenal show. We could do a full 2-hour podcast on 1 episode of that show. It's so intricate and so clever, and there's so many twists and turns, and the dialogue needs to be put out there and simplified for people if they don't quite understand it. So like Westworld is amazing for that, but it's hard to talk about. And I feel like I am now an old man. I am now old because I had a few hours to myself. I've been telling people, my friends, that I'm having a day in my pants. I booked this week off work to spend the whole week walking around the house in my pants doing nothing, like lying on the sofa. Just
Awesome.
Monday, my car died, so I couldn't do that. I was running around Telford trying to look for a car. Tuesday was my day in my pants, and Tuesday was gardening day, and Wednesday was my day in my pants. So I sat and watched a documentary on the Vietnam War. I am officially an old man. I played State of Decay until my eyes got blurry. I was like, oh, I can't do this no more.
How are you liking them, man? How far have you got into it?
Well, I said I started that second community. I started it again. It was going great. I mean, I got to the point
Why
where...
did you start it again? You broke the game, didn't you?
I broke it because I moved
Something
too
like
quickly. I moved house too quickly, and then it wanted me to move again. So I waited until it asked me to move house. I found a house, found out the house was too small. So So that annoyed me a little
That's the
bit.
yeah, that's the thing with State of Decay is never do anything until you know that it's the right thing, and that means investigate all other options first.
And it's when there's like a mission with Brady, who's my warlord. It was like, we need to build an armory, and I keep ignoring him because I had no fucking space for a workshop, and never mind fucking armory. You fucking idiot!
Yeah.
So I thought this will come a bit later. So he forgets about the mission. Then he keeps popping back up. We need to build an armory. Oh, we need to build an armory. Fuck off. We need to. And I've just moved to a nice hotel in the hills, and now I've got space for an armory. So fuck that off. It's great.
Hotel in the Hill. I've gone to the strip mall.
Oh yeah, I really want to get there. It's like 3,000 influence. I really want to get there.
Yeah.
Listeners are like, oh yeah, you guys just crack on talking about your video game that I probably don't play, but it's great.
I don't give a shit. Go out and play. Get State of Decay, people. I definitely recommend it though.
I did put up just before we start the show, if anybody wanted a shout out. We've just got one through. We only did one, so I guess we can sneak one in right into the middle of the show. And that's from my brother Connor. He's like, give us a shout out, give us a plug. He's actually come up with an idea of us joining him on some streaming. I thought that'd be a really good idea because with Fortnite you can cross-platform streaming. He's on PC, we're on Xbox.
Well, you can't on PlayStation.
Fuck PlayStation.
We'll definitely. Have you seen the shitstorm? I was gonna do a little bit of this on the Gamecast, but I think enough time on it now that I'm not gonna do like a dedicated video. But have you seen who talked about this on here?
No, about them stopping cross-platforming.
Yeah.
But
basically, PlayStation needs to be fucking careful on time. It's coming to the end of a generation. Every generation, whoever comes out strongest at the start of the next one, can get the crowd favor. Like there's no set rule of if you won the last one, you're going to be favorite going into this one. Just PlayStation 2, and then it was 360. It was 360, and then it was PlayStation 4. It goes back and forward. But they're really pissing people off at the moment. They've gone back into really arrogant Sony, where all their policies are literally just based around how can we be the most selfish company possible.
We want to make it by ourselves. We don't want to be influenced by others.
Yeah. And it's like, you need to be a little bit. You got in this position this generation because you came out and you were a bit humble after the disaster that was PS3. You got people like Greg Miller, who does kind of funny games, calling them out. They're like PlayStation fanboy central. You got people like him calling them out over their policies at the moment. Like, if anyone has no idea what we're on about, Fortnite is obviously like the biggest game ever since Minecraft. Like, it's become a platform in and of its own. PUBG got it popular, and then Fortnite, basically it's free to play, so it just became a monster, all of it, on its own, releasing on everything: PC, Switch, cell phones, Android, iPhone, everything. And part of that is that you get your loot and you want to carry it on, and you want to have one profile. You got your Epic account, and PlayStation basically, if you link your Epic account to your PlayStation account, or if you ever played it on PlayStation, you can't then take your account on any other console or platform. So all those PlayStation gamers who basically who want to take use of crossplay in some form or another, basically can't do it. It came out after E3 when Nintendo went on stage. It was like, hey, Fortnite's coming to the Switch. Everyone went on it. Obviously, a lot of people are PlayStation gamers this generation anyway, so there was a lot of people who were like, oh, we can't log on. So what they thought it was if they go into the account and unlink your the fact that it's been linked to your PlayStation, that would fix it. So people were doing that and then coming back to their back to the Switch to see if it was working, and it still wasn't working. Turns out it's a full on PlayStation just won't allow you to do it. And when they were questioned, they gave like a complete bullshit response where they
Have you
talked
tried
about how
switching
many.
it off and switching it on again?
No, not even that. It was completely tone deaf. They started talking about how many PlayStations they've sold this generation. It's like, really? So like you either
Pretty
don't,
arrogant. So
yeah, like you either don't understand the problem or you're refusing to talk about the problem. Either way, like really, that's how you're treating people, and it's just. I've said this from the start. It's like you need to choose, like, if it's between gaming in one place or another, and people were like moaning, like, "Oh, why weren't we informed?" I was like, I think we must have talked about this at some point. Because I remember saying this next point is that I made a comment of like, you need to read between the lines of how a company operates, and figure that out and make the decision yourself based on like your policies and stuff. Because if you're going to put all that money and those hours into trying to game in one place, and then you want the flexibility because they say it's going to have crossplay, and then a certain company doesn't, it's they've been doing this a long time.
sorry, I had to close my window and then open it again because a wasp was threatening to come in. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, my brother. Yeah, I mean, I hope he sorts it out because it started off with Rocket League, didn't it? Everybody was like, "Oh, Rocket League's cross-platform, I can play on everything," and this is what we want. I thought it was going to start off with Rocket League, and then obviously you got Fortnite now, and it's PUBG cross-platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really even care too much about the cross play, because Sea of Thieves that's an advertisement against cross play, because you've got PC cheaters in the mix and you don't really want that. That's why consoles are great. I'd love cross console play, but I'd happily leave the PC crowd out of it because it's just full of cheaters because they've got the master files. But that's master files. They need a new flag for themselves.
Let's give this little fucker a shout out before I forget, right? And he'll give me some shit otherwise. Connor is my brother. He lives in Ireland. He's got a playlist. He's got a YouTube channel called Scorpios. Grab a pen, people, because there's a code at the end. Scorpios 9472, and he's a gameplay streamer. And if you look on his list of videos he plays games like the original GoldenEye, Doom, Doom 64, the original Tomb Raider, the new Doom, Zelda. You know, he goes around. He plays the older games. He's even got Spyro on here. So you just sit there and play that for a couple of hours, and you get to sit and watch him. So if you forget what those old games look like, or you want to see a guy who knows the Doom maps better than anyone in the history of Doom, then go and check out his channel. Scorpios 9472. 9472. Yeah. So there you go. There's your shout out, Connor. Now stop bugging me. I'm joking. I love you, bro. Good luck with it. Yeah, and he came up with an idea with the cross-platforming thing. If we could maybe do a couple of streaming games on Fortnite, never actually played Fortnite before. If we can get to a stage where we can record some footage and chuck it on our channel, that'd be really cool.
Here's the thing about Fortnite: it's fucking shit.
Yeah,
honestly, I do not get the hype at all. Like, it's just not a good game.
No, it's not. It looks awful. The physics look terrible. Like the way they jump, when you jump in a game and they kind of lurch forward. When they jump, they kind of just flancy in the air. It's really weird. And I guarantee I'll go on it and everyone will be like building like these crazy fortresses in the sky, and I'll be running around trying to punch plants and shit. Like,
I couldn't even bloody figure out how to fucking find weapons and do any of the shit. I played it for God knows how long, trying to give it a chance. Just pickaxing shit, and I was like, I couldn't fucking find anything. And then you die inevitably because everyone's got rocket launchers and you're there with a pickaxe, and then you're back to a loading screen, and then you jump in and you run around and you get shot because they've got rocket launchers again, and you still got a pickaxe, and then you're a loading screen, and I just why I just don't get this battle royale boom in games. I get the concept of the gameplay, why it's interesting,
Yeah.
but in actual reality, you spend more time in loading screens waiting for a match, and you're gonna win one in a million. It's not like you play Halo or you play Call of Duty. Fuck Call of Duty, by the way. You're gonna win technically 50% of your matches on average, aren't you? Unless you're really good. If you're an average gamer, you're gonna win 50% of your matches.
I've seen people like put up like first place on Fortnite and be like, finally, I've been playing it for months. Like, yeah, you're right.
So, yeah, and I get it. It's about the experience as well, and it's the tension and the oh my god, I got to third place. That last bit was wicked. Did you see that point? Like those water cooler moments. I get that it's not all about winning, so I shouldn't just like drum it down to you don't even win 50% of your matches. But I
Have you seen that meme on Facebook where you got the guy who sits at the desk outside and you can add anything to the front board and it says, "Oh, tell me I'm wrong."
yeah.
Yeah. So somebody's put, "Fortnite is only popular because it's free. Tell me I'm wrong." I mean, like, yeah, we can sit and knock the graphics and the physics and the gameplay as much as we like, but it is free. It's free and it's kicking ass on all kinds of level. But they must be making money as well, because obviously you can buy.
They're making money off those vending machines, man. A lot.
Okay, let's move on. What were we talking about? We just all rambling.
We haven't really talked about anything today. We've just sat and chilled, and I'm hungover, so I don't really care.
Well, I had this idea for not a new segment, but something we could do to buy a bit of time, because it is quite out there at the moment on the geek sphere. So I had this idea to play a game called Upday Roulette. And basically, Upday is a news card. It's where I get a lot of my information. It's a news card app you can get for your phone. Mostly, I got an Android. And basically, I close my eyes, I scroll up a few times, and whatever it lands on, we just sit and talk about. I think it's a great idea. What do you reckon?
Cool.
Want to give this a go?
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah. Can you kill that dog as well?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I've got the window open because it's like a million degrees outside.
Ah, schoolboy. I've got windows closed, but I've got a fan on.
See, I got a fan, but it's about the size of those fans in the Titanic as it's like dipping into the sea.
the one where he falls off and like smashes into it as he's falling off.
It's the size. It's the size of that, so it would definitely ruin. Okay, so there's Upday there. I'm just gonna close my eyes. I'm gonna scroll, touch. Oh, okay. Is it all over for TV star? Fans turn on Ant McPartlin. This is actually quite a cool story. Yeah, I think.
I think it'd be absolutely fine. I think he's. First of all, I don't think any Americans will have the first idea who this guy is.
We need to explain who he is. So in America, you've got like Chris Hardwick. You've got.
He's like Bill Cosby, but not so.
He's not Bill Cosby at all.
Anton Deck. He's like a nation's treasure, isn't he? He's a national treasure.
Anton Deck are two presenters. You've probably seen him on Britain's Got Talent or X Factor. They're the guys that stand on the side or present on this. And Ant kind of went off the rails a little bit. Was drinking, taking drugs. Did he hit someone with his car?
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Yeah, drink driving. He was way over the limit and smashed into someone. But now I think people like. If it was like Joe Blogs from down the road, people are like, he's a dickhead. But at the same time, I think people have got enough love for him that they'll give him a chance and want him to come back.
Yeah. Well, like Britain's Got Talent during the live finals, you had Deck stood there on his own, and I didn't see the show, but I saw a few clips of how
Yeah.
awkward he just looks, just stood there by himself, because he hasn't got Ant. Obviously, Ant's like in rehab. I think his marriage has fallen apart. Looks like his career's going down the pan as well. And he got his hosting buddy Deck. I mean, it's like me and you. I mean, if something happened between us two, I mean, imagine you just doing Thors-Kin by yourself. No one would fucking listen, would they? You know. So
Well, especially not if I do many more hungover podcasts.
But what gets me with Ant is, like, obviously he's going through a hard time, but those eyebrows of his, he's got, every time you see him in the press, he's got this, like, if his eyebrows could get up any higher into his fucking into his head, honestly, he's got these serious puppy dog eyes. I could just imagine him being in a car with blacked out windows and him going 3, 2, 1, eyebrows. I'm so sad. Help me. Like, the guy's made like 70 million in revenue on. These guys are the highest paid presenters in the UK. And they do Britain's Got Talent. They do the Anton That Takeaway program. They got I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here as well. You know, they've made a lot of money. So what do you do? Do you cut your losses, go and live your life and forget about TV? You've made a lot of money. Or do you just try and drag your ass through it all and carry on?
Yeah, if he can get himself sorted, I think when you're that famous, then, and I get it's like they're only Britain famous, but they are very, very Britain famous.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like you're in a position there that, yes, if it was Joe Bloggs down the road, you'd have no patience for it. But you can, when you're in that position, you've got a power and a responsibility that you can make a point and be sort of like you can represent of like how to go around things the right way and how to beat addiction and things like that. So I think if anything, he needs to come back and get clean and get sober.
I hope he does, because I've grown up with Anton Deck from the SMTV days, from Bike I grew up from when I was a kid. That's where they all started. You know, I've grown up with these guys. I've watched their careers turn into what they are, and they've kind of always been a part of my life. And if he can sort it out, it'd be great. But you know, the show business world is a machine, and it pumps people in, and it pumps them back out again. And he needs to be careful because, like, you know, before he knows it, Keith Lemon's taking his place. You know,
can you imagine that? Keith and Deck.
All right, Deck. Oh, you're really little, aren't you? You're really little. Yeah. So I hope he gets better soon. I do kind of believe. I hear what you're saying about the fame and the fortune has kind of helped him kind of dodge a bullet in a way that, you know, he should have done time probably for being fucked up driving and hurting someone. I do believe that. But at the same time, it happens all around the world, doesn't it? Lindsay Lohan and, you know, all these people in America that get away with shit. Right, let's do one more, okay? Closing my eyes. Scroll. Touch. What totally regrettable thing will you be doing if England win or lose? How fucking great is that? Oh my god. What's the most regrettable thing you'll be doing? I'll probably be working.
I'll probably not end up watching it because I generally don't have interest in football. But then we'll fucking win it, and I'll be like, no. See, I really wish that I could still be into football like I used to be. Like I used to play. I used to play every FIFA game. I used to watch football every weekend. But then FIFA 96 was the best thing ever. And then everything from there was shit. So
FIFA 96 was shit.
Everything else from there was shit.
96. That's like the third game they ever released, I think. I used to love FIFA until they ruined the game. They ruined it. They took the speed.
I wish I could be into it, but I don't know. I struggle. I struggle with the money behind it and what it represents, and the dive in and the overpaid superstars that you could fucking solve world hunger if the Premiership just said, you know what, for a year, we're all going to have half normal wages. I only need 100 grand to live on in a year. That's still 10, what, 5 times what most people will make
Exactly. They don't
on
need that much money.
basic minimum wages. Take 100 grand out of your 17 million per month and do something useful with it. Give it to Elon Musk. Like,
Oh, he gets enough. Trust me, he gets enough. The amount of whinging I see on the internet about how much money he gets off the U.S. government to help him with his ventures. But look what it's doing now. It's changing the fucking world. So stop whinging, America. I love you, really. One of the captions here is, with a chance of going through to the World Cup final at stake, England versus Sweden is going to be somewhat tense. So how will you be losing your shit over the outcome? Well, by trampling a fucking ambulance in the middle of London. That's exactly how people are going to be losing their shit. Yeah, that was kind of a shit one because we've just talked about that and how disappointing. My biggest regret is probably going to be telling people not to party too hard. I'm sat here on a podcast going, don't stamp on ambulances, people. And people probably look at that and think, oh, he's a boring bastard, isn't he? But at the same time, you fucked up an ambulance. Okay. Have you got a dickhead of the week this week?
all the dickhead of the week stuff was all the football things that I've seen, but we've kind of gone into that over and over, so I can't. I'm dickheaded out.
I do have a dickhead of the week, and it is somebody called Olivia Ann Cleary. She is a journalist at the Daily Star. And basically, I was reading through, I was looking for stories for the Weekly Bazaar, and I found this story, and it reads, where's it? It basically read, Helen Flanagan lays herself bare on camera with baby shots. Okay, so this is one of those grabber posts. Helen Flanagan is somebody from Coronation Street. Americans don't really watch that one. Some might do. She's famous for being, quite voluptuous and having big boobs and what have you. She's always been getting her boobs out and stuff, But basically, this was one of those posts that kind of grabbed people in one of the most disgusting ways. Basically, she gave birth to a baby. She's married to Scott Sinclair, who's a footballer. She gave birth to the baby, and rather than saying congratulations Helen on giving the baby, it tries to entice perverts by saying she's laid herself. It reads here, in both shots, Helen Flanagan laid herself bare as she appeared sans makeup, allowing her natural beauty to reign supreme. And she's lying there with her baby. So they're using sex or using that kind of enticement to try and draw people into a post about somebody having a baby.
That's crazy.
A bit weird. I don't think that's a bit weird.
Yeah. It's kind of like it's a run-of-the-mill thing for people to use sex to sell stuff. But yeah, when like the post that you're clicking on is someone who's just had a baby, it's like...
And the pictures I'll show you the pictures. There are nothing sexy about them. She's literally given. It's beautiful. It's really nice. But she's just lying there with a baby. It's an amazing thing congratulations, Helen. It's really nice, but I'm not happy with like these kind of things. Kind of like you don't have to use sex to sell everything. You can literally put something in the Daily Star and say, "Congratulations, Helen, on the birth of your new baby. We wish you well." Not, "Oh, look at her curves and look how beautiful she looks like." It's fucking weird. It's weird. That's what it is. If you're willing, and this is Olivia as well. This is done by a woman. Like, cunt. Don't do it. Don't do that, please. I made this hilarious video. I was messing around. I was trying to get Timmy to sleep, and it's basically a teddy bear.
I don't know why bears are always considered cute and cuddly. When I lived in the wild, I ate 3 small children. Ironic. Now, children play with me.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, kind of.
He said,
I don't know why teddy bears are considered cute and cuddly. When I was in the wild, I ate 3 small children. It's ironic now that children now want to play with me.
I'm just a bit strange.
You're a weirdo.
No hope for me. It's been a strange episode this week because we didn't have an awful lot to talk about. It's been one of those weeks where I haven't had enough time to have a shit. I'm not even joking. I've been having to find time slots where I can actually have a comfortable shit and not have to rush. So it's been one of those weird weeks. I'm back to work tonight, so we can kind of.
It's been one of those weeks where I just haven't given a shit either.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, podcast. I'm hungover. No, go away. Come back
Please,
a different
no.
day, please.
But yeah, it's been great as usual. I did say last week we're going to have Tom Bruno on the show, but I'm giving him a bit of time to get his shit together, get his stuff sorted, because he's not a fully fledged podcaster, but I would like him on the show. If it doesn't work out, we can find someone else, but I really do like Tom, so I hope he can kind of get his stuff together and we can arrange something for next week. We got the 28th is when I'm going to be doing the Porridge overnight special for the Weekly Bazaar, so look for that the week after that. That's on a Saturday.
Why is it called Porridge?
It's called Porridge because of the sitcom. Remember Porridge? Porridge in the UK was back in the day was a comedy set in a prison, so they call it Porridge.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I completely forgot that it was set in a prison. I was like, my mind instantly went to the sitcom, but I think I went to Open All Hours for some reason.
It's the same guy. It's the same guy from Open All Hours, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what it's called. That. But it's not just for like historical buffs or occult people. Like the point that this promo video was trying to make is you can just have a fun time. There's pictures of us like pillow fighting and stuff like that. You go there and have like a cheesy sleepover with your mates. It's really cool.
Yeah.
You know. Was there anything else I need to shout out?
I think we should get the hell up out of here, and I think you should get on Sea of Thieves and give that a go.
Fuck Sea of Thieves. I'll get on.
Oh,
State
come
of Decay.
on.
I've been loving playing State of Decay, and we were talking about this battle royale style of.
I'm broadening your horizons of gaming, getting you to play this stuff instead of just FIFA and Call of Duty. Trust me.
Jimmy's been trying to broaden my horizons
Trust me,
for
I'm a
years.
gamer. Hey. Get on it. We'll go for a sail.
I've got to get some
set
sleep.
Sail and be.
I'm actually gonna go for a cigarette and I'm gonna go to sleep because it is my night shift tonight, so I need to try and sleep through this glorious sunshine. But thanks for joining me anyway, Jimmy. Guys, like, share, and subscribe. It's been a quiet one this week, but we love you guys. We hope you'll join us again next week when things hopefully a bit more excitable.
Yeah, when we'll have loads of new Marvel trailers and stuff. There's gonna be loads of things are going to happen.
Yeah,
trust me.
James is actually going to put clothes on for the next episode. But superhero bar fight.
I cannot guarantee that I will be dressed for the next episode.
Superhero bar fight as well. Returning back Wednesday and Thursday. What day are you going to start dropping your Gamecast? What day are you going to...
There won't be a specific day. We'll just give that a plug on whenever. Just keep an eye and an ear out for it. There is a Halo 1 drop in any moment. Basically, with what you'll see is very likely a bunch of videos going live on YouTube just to get a backlog because we've had the channel hasn't been able to be updated recently because I've been shit. So we're going to have like a backlog of stuff on there, but then we'll be back up and running with, things going day and date, audio and video platforms going live at the same time, roughly. But yeah, I want to end it with the Gamecast going up last so that it's actually got a little bit of time to not get drowned out by a bunch of other videos.
Okay. Well, you heard it here, guys. Look forward to Gamecast coming soon. And yeah, peace out, everybody. Join us next week.
See you around.
Peace out, y'all.